Hey, what's up, everybody? Let me see here. Put a one in the chat if you can clearly hear me. Hey, yo, I feel as though this mic stand is about to fall on me. Listen, part of the thing is just going live, things like that. See, what is up, Biggs? What's up, Ian? Nice to see you. And yeah, and today's going to be a show where it's going to be me answering an email and just discussing some of these media players as well as get into some other topics. So right now you see like the screensaver of my Formula Z Mini, and I will be getting to that shortly. But if you can hear me clearly, Ian, just put a one in my chat, please. Just want to make sure all is well. Let me do this. As soon as I get that confirmation, we can begin. All right, cool. Just want to make sure. So, setup was the same as last time. My first live stream was when Philly Cable Dave was on the panel. So, y'all know anything about Philly? He does his own thing on his channel, and he's a popular topic as of late. But this stream won't be getting into all that. We're just going to keep it respectful, answer some questions, and take it from there. Now, I do have my capture card set up currently. So I purchased a capture card because if I wanted to do this type of style presentation, I needed one. If I was strictly doing videos, the camcorder, the phone setup would have been ideal. But this way we can interact in real time. So let's do this. Let me drag this over here. Yeah, like that. Go to display. There's me right here, but I'll move me right there like that. All right, so I got some tabs. These would be my topics, and then we're going to be getting into some other things later. So here's the thing. My favorite media player as of right now is the PlayStation 5. Now, all this stuff is like speculation, rumors. We haven't gotten an official announcement from Sony. There hasn't been no pre-order date, no nothing. But in the past, going by Sony, where they had a PlayStation 4 Pro like 4 years after the original launch of the PlayStation 4, we are expected to have a PlayStation 5 Pro this fall. Now, I don't know if any of you are gamers or if you're planning on getting into gaming or what you plan on doing, but PlayStation 5 in the console market is dominating as of right now. Xbox as a competitor are putting their games on a competitor platform like PlayStation, and they pretty much wave the white flag. That leaves Nintendo. There is some stuff going on with the new Switch, and we should be hearing some more about that in the coming months. Let me mute my phone. One moment, please. Already. Okay. All right, Big say you can't wait for the Pro. That's what's up. Yeah, so here, the code name is Project Trinity. And all this stuff is fine where it's getting into the technology, the architecture. Some of you may not be interested in that. However, I will leave a link down in the chat as well, in case you want to read along with some of this stuff. But for me, the prices from 600 to 700, that sounds about right. This thing's supposed to have like up to AI 8K upscaling, some freakish nature like that. And here's the thing about it. These developers are realizing that the hardware that's in the PlayStation 5 currently is beginning to be a little bit dated. But then you have games like Horizon Forbidden West. And this is why it comes down to the developer and the talent. Because if you look at Horizon Forbidden West in performance mode, that game looks absolutely stunning, incredible. That's no longer a PlayStation exclusive game. That is now a multi-platform. That game is on PC. The point that I'm getting at is for a $400 to $500 machine, just hear me out. For the graphics to look like that on a budget machine, just imagine what they can tap into with the PlayStation 5 Pro. And I'm going to be honest with you. The entire industry as a whole has not even took advantage fully of the PlayStation 5. I'm talking about across second party and third party. First party, you got your God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Stellar Blade. I'm over 50 hours in that game. I'm on my second playthrough on the hardest difficulty. That game was nice. Gives you graphics modes, gives you the options, all that. Okay, gives you all that. And that's one of the things that I'm looking for is what are they going to do to tap into that power and to keep it going? So let's see. Ian Penn got me on getting that also. Haha, the Pro. Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with it. A dedicated AI chip, DualSense 2.0 controller, and a detachable Blu-ray. So, okay. So, and I'll be looking forward to, the announcements. Hopefully we get it this year. Now, and if we don't, then that's completely fine. Now, I'm not expecting the ray tracing to be comparable to a high-end gaming computer. But if you look at the console, specifically the PlayStation 5, and what it's bringing to the table, it's doing some things. And it's affordable for most people. And you're not spending upwards of $1,000 plus dollars out the gate. Now, rather than not, you want to expand the storage. You want to get you like a 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, or 4 terabyte NVMe M.2. That would be your personal preference, depending on how many games you play and how many games you want to load typically on your drive. And Sony does have a list of what they recommend, but I didn't go with the recommendation. I just found something off of Amazon that was reasonably priced, and it works. Games load completely efficiently, and it works fine. The performance is stellar. So, and it also bring 8K game into the living room. Now, technically, currently, or it can support 8K resolution, but the console outputs to 4K. So a lot of people have like a PlayStation 5 and they have an 8K television. And in their television, if their processor inside their TV has a good upscaling technology, then some people like the upscaling to 8K, things like that. I think hardware wise, it's just too early to invest in 8K. We just don't have a physical player as a standard as of yet. A lot of content is not in 8K. There's some YouTube videos or some independent films. I'll say this. If you're going to invest in 8K, the best thing you can do right now is build a gaming PC and get the highest end graphics card that you can afford or that you can get your hands on. And that's going to be the 40 series from NVIDIA or what's compatible through AMD. And if you have an 8K TV, you're going to be able to push those pixels and get the highest fidelity that you can. Now, just because the resolution on PC is 8K doesn't mean that the developer have built the textures to be 8K native textures. Sometimes the developers built the textures to be 2K or up to 4K. It depends on the developer. So just keep that in mind. Those are just some things to keep in mind when we're discussing this. All right. Seems like the CPU just going to be just overclocked. GPU, yep, makes sense what I'm seeing here. 33.5 teraflops. That's a big jump from 10.28 teraflops. That's a huge jump in the AI chip and whatever the case may be. So those are good things in this case. Those are good things. I'm expecting it to be around 600 to 700, but it depends. And before we move on to the next topic, does anyone have any questions? Because I'm going to be getting into an email from a viewer, and her name is Kenyetta, and I will leave the last name out. Now, it was regarding Easy News. So let's see here. This is what I would do. Drag that over like that. Okay, so we got that there. And I'm going to pull up the email as well. Won't show you guys though. All right, one moment. All right, so the email does state from Hello Pen. I have an Easy News account and trying to see if you can help me with this to get everything going the right way. I thought I could just open an account and find what I'm looking for, but I was wrong. All right. So here's the thing, and I'm going to be doing some dedicated videos across this on YouTube and Rumble. I'm going to be like a 2024 edition. Definitely, I know Biggs know about this, and probably Ian as well. But this used to be something where this was a theme on my channel before the terms of service, and it's definitely good to do like a refresh in a sense. All right, so Easy News would be an example of a Usenet provider, to where they have retention, to where they have various files on their servers, to where it can span back even years, 5 to 7+ years. It all depends on what provider that you're going to select and what you're going to choose. Budgets won't come to mind, but you also have to factor in also is what are the features. So this is Easy News. This isn't something that I use personally, but this was brought up as an example, to where essentially you are paying to access a server and they provide a service to where you're able to go in and get various files. Now, some of them come with their built-in news reader, or for layman's terms, a downloader, like an all-in-one, where you're able to search for something and download it directly to your drive of choice. Now, on the website here, they're going to have some key things where they're telling you 5,753 days of binary retention. So you're going to want to look for a provider that has the retention down as well. Now, one of the things that I recommend is going to what is Usenet. And they're going to give you the history. They're going to give you the rundown. It's a bit boring and things like that. But essentially what it is today is it's just a valuable tool for sharing knowledge in a secure and fast and decentralized network. For cord cutters and streamers, it's another opportunity and a way for you to obtain content for your cloud or your local media library. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. Think of peer-to-peer, right? So you know about the torrent clients that were very popular back in the day, and that's popular today. Think of a ZAB NZBD and an NZB GET, which is right here, as your clients. These would be your Usenet downloaders. Easy News is an example of a provider, but from there, you need indexers if you want to have the best possible experience with using this type of workflow. You're going to need indexers. Now, the clients are free. You don't have to pay for those. The provider and the indexers, if you want to have the best and the easiest experience using this, it's going to cost you up front. This is why when I have conversations, I have to ask, what is your goal? Because if there can be a more affordable way for you to get from point A to point B, then I wouldn't recommend this route. I will only recommend this route if you're into automation. You know, if you want to have or learn the technical chops to set something like this up to where it can make you some money, or you can set it up to where it can benefit yourself in your situation. Just depends. Just depends. Personally, what I use as a main provider is something called news hosting. So this is going to be my provider that's going to give me the highest retention in the industry. It's very popular, and it's a lot of those old school providers that's still around today. And essentially, you want to have a way to where if a file gets shut down due to copyright, or it has some errors in a file due to some copyright takedowns, you want to have a backup. Same way people suggest that you have a backup when it comes to your media, to various things that you feel are important, where it's the same way in this space. What I have is servers that's on opposite ends of each other. So imagine news hosting would be north. Okay. And then Weka or eWeka would be south. I'm trying to break it down to where I'm not just giving you just technical jarring, just so you can get it as simple as possible. So imagine news hosting is north. eWeka is south. These are on two totally different spectrums and servers. So if part of a file is taken down for copyright, one of these can pick back up and make sure your download is successful. This is very important. Now, these are two providers, and they're not block accounts. Block accounts are providers as well, but I'm going to break that down. Let's say I wanted to have news hosting as a main, and I only needed, for my secondary, I only needed 500 gigs worth of, let's say, downloads, right? Blocks are basically blocks of data. You only get what you need. These two are unlimited. I have two unlimited providers. You can go with a main and blocks, or you can do two unlimited providers on the opposite spectrums. Obviously, I get more in depth on when it comes to the consultation because I actually show these things in practice. That's the goal. Now, what I can do here is this. And Easy News is an example, but a lot of new people, when it comes to cord cutting and when they want to get into finding out about news groups or getting providers and getting indexers, you do have to do a little bit of prep work, and you do have to look into what indexers are good and what providers are you going to be going with and how much data or information that you're going to need in order to be successful. You can have this be as a backup when it comes to peer-to-peer, or a different method that you prefer when it comes to your media library, whether it's cloud or local. Or you can have this be a main method, which is what I use it for, and have peer-to-peer be a fallback. Just giving you different scenarios and examples of how you can apply this. But this isn't for everyone. I will say that this isn't for everyone. Let me adjust that like that. And the only reason why this isn't for everyone is because unless you want a specific type of content, or if you can't find something elsewhere, this would be a great alternative. This would be a great alternative. Or if you want to automate, I would recommend this workflow as well. You can automate with indexers in the peer-to-peer realm, but Usenet has been a lot more, the automation is a lot more fluent. You know, it's more efficient using it this way versus peer-to-peer. You use peer-to-peer. If you're doing local, you got to have a VPN. You don't need a VPN when it comes to Usenet and Newsgroup's workflow. You would probably want to put SSL on so your internet service provider won't know what you're doing exactly. They know that it's going to be a lot of bandwidth that's going to be coming into. They're going to see a lot of bandwidth when you're doing this type of stuff. But if you put SSL on, they won't know. But you don't need a VPN to run this. You don't. And if you're running local, if you have a VPN turned on, that means that your internet speeds are not going to be the same with your VPN off. So you're going to be cutting into your internet. With this, you don't have to worry about that. It will saturate your connection and it will download at the fastest speed it can. Of course, your processor comes down to it. What type of hard drive are you using? Is it SSD or is it a regular drive? And what's your internet speed? What's your configuration? And what are your cables that you're using? All of that comes into play. It's not just going to a site, purchasing something, and then call it in a day. No, your network has to be set up first. That's the main thing about it. You notice when I was doing the preloaded boxes videos, and I'm talking about your network, one concept builds on top of another. It's concepts. It's the fundamentals in order to be successful for yourself. All right. And let me see. Shout out to Ian. Appreciate that. Great info. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And also, some of you may notice that's also going to be watching the live and watching the replay to this. Some of you are going to be noticing that there are going to be advertisements midstream every 30 minutes or so. The channel is monetized. Just ask that you just refresh it or exit out, come back in if it's a little bit annoying to you. All right. But yeah. And I actually have some things queued up, and I'm going to be bringing some content to Rumble and YouTube that's going to be bringing some more clarity to this workflow, because we all do things a little different and we all can take from one another and learn and also apply it to our setup as well. All right. So, and even though I haven't used Easy News, the workflow is very similar. If I go to support, let me see what they're going to show. All right, so they give you the ports. So if you want encrypted ports, you use 563. You want unencrypted, that means that your internet service provider can see what you're doing, because you don't need a VPN for this. Then you would use that. Honestly, if you're using a C box, you can use unencrypted, and make sure you take note of this. If you're using like a C box or some sort of like cloud provider, you can technically get away with unencrypted, because the cloud provider is going to have its own encryption by default. You can use this as a method to get some faster speeds on your downloads, if you do care about that. But locally, I would 100% recommend you just use SSL. It's going to take some speed away and you'll be good to go. And it does come with a VPN. And they're included. I mean, in case you're going somewhere, if you're at like a coffee shop and they have like an open Wi-Fi network, a VPN is definitely going to come in handy in those situations. So some of these Usenet providers, when you invest in them monthly, yearly, or however they have their plan set up, sometimes they can come with a VPN, and they can be useful in certain scenarios. Just wouldn't be useful for if you're doing something locally, like you're working on the server, adding stuff to it, using news groups. It just wouldn't be worth it. It's more of an incentive, I would say. All right, so now I'm going to go into, now this is Reddit, this is the wiki, and it's just going to be giving you the rundown. For anyone that want to learn about this, I just advise that you look into the Reddit, read the wiki, learn what Usenet is and how this operates, and getting your indexers will be the next thing that you should do after picking your providers. Now, the indexers and some selected providers will have content on them both. But primarily, the indexers are going to be the ones where there are individual sites, and you can pick in categories in terms of what you may want to select, or what do you don't want to grab. So, and these also tie into the automation software like Radar for movies, Sonar for TV shows. Just giving a heads up. All right. And here they are. Now, I won't be going into any of these sites. I do want to be a little bit careful in terms of what I'm showing you here, but you get the idea. My recommendation, NZB Geek starting off, has been a godsend for a lot of people. It is probably the most recommended one. Remember, always have a backup. I will suggest having a backup in terms of a provider and in terms of indexers. You just don't want one, because if something that's not on that particular indexer, you can always rely on others. Not all indexers have the same content. Some of the higher ones that are like invite only that you usually don't see publicly, they have things that's in those higher level trackers, those private trackers, those peer to peer. And peer to peer private trackers are hard to get into unless you can prove that you can have a ratio. Where in Usenet, the only thing you need to prove is to have money. I'm just keeping it honest. As long as you have money, you're going to benefit it because that's going to be the the barrier of entry for you to get in. And it tells you all this stuff right here on this site. It tells you everything right here. Payment methods, PayPal, CC. And the different plans and setups is going to depend on each site. And starting off is always good to just do your research, ask around, and just try some things that works for you. But I like Reddit, man, because Reddit, when it comes to Usenet, is just a very solid source when it comes to reading up on some things that you may not be aware of or unsure, or even if you're a veteran in the game. Is always like a good refresher just to come through, see what's being updated, seeing what new indexers came on the scene, and seeing what the community is talking about in the world of Usenet. So this is a totally different area than peer to peer. But what core cutters and streamers are going to be using, they're going to be using it for getting content for their media library at the end of the day. All right, next is going to be Zab NZBD. So this is a free and easy binary news reader. It's a client. That's all it is. It's a client. It's a downloader at the end of the day. And they have some screenshot examples here. And it's just showing you like the different settings within the user interface. This is a popular one. It's being consistently updated. And as you can see, news hosting is giving like a 70% exclusive discount plus 3 months start now. So what I can do, I'm going to put the Usenet indexers in the chat. And as well as Zab NZBD. This is NZBGit. They call it a more efficient Usenet downloader. It is more lightweight. If you have like a lower spec computer or a low end PC in general, if you use NZBGit, you are using the more efficient downloader of the two. So if you have like a more beefier machine or spec wise, then you can go either or. Zab NZBD is going to run fine, but this especially runs good or great on lower end hardware. So I will keep this as well, and I will post that in the chat like that. And truthfully, Usenet in a nutshell, because it's going to have it has the official definition from back in the day, with the different bulletin boards, forms. It even came with your internet service provider package back in the day as well, I believe. But it's totally different now. It's just it's just a more secure way to get your content. And it's a great alternative that anyone can get started and get into as long as they're willing to read up and, do some research at the end of the day. So definitely, if you're interested in this, I will be doing some content in the near future regarding this type of stuff. So don't worry on that regard. And that's that. Is there any questions? I know it's a thing that YouTube is not sending out the notifications to people. I've had 2 people tell me that. One of my homies from PlayStation said he never gets notified when I do or upload videos. I'm like, that's crazy. But if there's any questions for those of you that are still viewing, I'll just give it like a minute or so, and then I'll move on to the next topic for sure. So I do have my capture card set up, and I'm going to be working on my review for the Zedu Z9X Pro, since it was purchased before I got the Doom HD Real Vision 4K Plus. So I'm working on that official review video. And also, I might go live again this Sunday because I'm off today and I'm off Sunday from work. And just to come on and just share my experiences with the Formula devices. The Z11 Pro Max, have that hooked up to my 77-inch QD OLED. Looks nice. All right. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to move on to the capture card. So I got 2 devices plugged in so far. The Formula Z Mini and the Zedu Z9X Pro. So let me do something here. Do that. So let's just show everybody. Close off these tabs. Open this. All right. So I'm going to show these first. All right. So these are just the official websites, just so we can be on the same page here. That's all. Yes. That Z11 Pro Max is a beast, and the Z Mini is a little small beast. Exactly. And that's how I interpret it as well. Big shout out to Ian. He has a lot of devices. But those of y'all that's going to be watching on the replay, things like that. All right. So this is the Z Mini. It's an Android media streamer. And this is what I purchased first, so this is their latest device. You go to Android OTT, you see the Z Mini up top and the Z11 Pro Max. Technically, this would be the flagship, but the Z Mini is the latest device released by them, their new form factor. And these devices, or this company, they specialize in providing an application called My TV Online, which you're able to put M3Us or provider credential to where you're able to see live TV, cable through your internet connection. So they only provide the application. They do not provide the actual service. But this particular device, along with this one, they're geared towards live TV specifically. And I've been using it for the past, I had this for the past like 9 or 10 days, the Z Mini. And, I've been putting my videos out on it because it's not too many videos out on this device. And I know everyone is like going crazy over the Walmart on Pro devices, things like that. But I've been sticking in my lane and been doing this, and I'm loving it. Simple, elegant, there's no advertisements, and it got the decoding technology in it. It does come with a Bluetooth remote, and this is the best remote I've seen from a device that I've owned personally. I think Sofa Baton can learn a thing or two from Formula. I honestly do. And they can learn some things from them. And My TV Online Plus, anytime, any place, where this stuff can be synced to a mobile device and you're good to go. And it comes with the Express VPN, but I don't use a VPN for streaming. Not in this magnitude, no. And for those of you that are interested in the specs, it was in my original unboxing video, but if you want to pause it or look at it, it's right here. Some people are saying for the price, it can be a little bit better, especially on the storage side and the RAM. But I'm liking it. It's very simple. It's very easy to set up, and that's important. Let's see. All right, it's my capture card. Let me bring that here. So what I have here is this is the Formula Z Mini, and my stuff was mounted. Let me see something. Okay, it's mounted. So I only use 3 apps. My TV Online 3, which is what comes with this device. This is primarily what you're going to be paying for when it comes to your live TV. And then I use MB. This is going to be for more casual streaming when it comes to like TV shows or bit rates that can stream on a device like this, and especially the Z11 Pro Max. So this has replaced my Shield in a sense, because my Sudo is only going to be for local content as well as the Doom. Okay. And this is ad-free Smart Tube Next, ad-free YouTube. You don't need YouTube Premium. You just need to look into this application here and put it on your device. And you can get all of these from the market or the Google Play Store. I am signed into them, but I like that they give you their own market as well. I like that a lot. And we know what the Google Play Store looked like, but I'm going to go into it. So this is not going to be the device for anyone to get if they're looking for like Google certifications. In that case, you might want to look towards the Walmart On series. If you want the operating system, Google OS, and you want something that's going to give you those official licenses and certifications, then this is not going to be the device that's going to give you the best experiences versus those dedicated devices and that are cheaper or more affordable. But this is going to be the device for you if you have your own content in the cloud or locally that's not the highest of end, but you just want to see something. You do have the ability to load in a Plex, a Kodi, a Jellyfin. And then on top of having your My TV Online experience, you can get things done and go from point A to point B with this. So that's the Play Store. And let me get this comment here. Yup, I agree with you on that. Also, the remotes are great, nice, don't feel cheap at all. Yes, yes. The remotes feel quality, that they're not just copy and paste, and they actually put some love, some thought and design in these remotes. Because remember, these boxes are suited for live TV. So the remote actually reflects that. And that's very important. The design overall and the interface, the remote, it has a sense of uniformity. And I can see why a lot of people enjoy the Formula series as a whole. Quality stuff. Definitely my first impressions, for sure. All right. Appreciate that, Ian. And appreciate you rocking out with me for this live stream. I know I haven't been live in a while. I definitely don't go live consistently, but I'm paying for restream, so I'm gonna definitely make sure I do this more often. Now, this is the market, which it really explains itself. It's laid out cleanly. The readability is perfect, and you're able to just on the left side pick your category, on the right pick what applications benefits you or what you want. Um, Downloader, something that's very unfamiliar with people in this space. They give you web browsers in case you want to go on the web. They even give you games to play. Not my preference when it comes to a device like this, but it's always nice to have options. And they do have a VPN and a DNS. Now they are giving you OTT/IPTV, which is here. And if you know how to put services in My TV Online 3, you won't need majority of these OTT/IPTV applications. You just won't. The only thing I would recommend is SmartTube Next. If you watch YouTube, that's ad free. YouTube is different. As far as everything else, you wouldn't need it. Yeah, I mean, unless you want to put another player on here, there's really no need to, because they supply the player when you purchase the device. And they give you general apps, like you can install an additional app store or play store. Aptoid, I love Aptoid. Plex, got MB. You want to listen to music, Spotify, Kodi. So some people, when it comes to the VOD on Formula, they don't often rely on local. They'll pick like an application, like a Kodi or a third-party application, and they'll tie in something called a debrid, where you're connected to a server that's going to be providing you various links of quality and sizes when it pertains to a file that you're trying to play on an application. Then My TV Online just completes the experience, and they're on number 3 when it comes to the Mini and the Z11 Pro Max. And that's where you get your live TV fix on. And they have a top 10 right here. I mean, cool stuff. I mean, it's very easy to set this device up. In terms of what I need, I just need my MB. And let me do something right quick. Let me see something. Oh, for sure. Yeah, appreciate it, Ian. All right. Let me go into, because I really, if I go into my TV online, it's going to start playing content. So I'll be going into that. Hooked on 5G Wi-Fi. Bluetooth, I do have my 5.1 keyboard by the company named Arctech. So it has 3 options, and you can hook up 3 devices via Bluetooth, all on a single keyboard. So it's pretty cool. That's mainly what I use. It's just more easier to put in my credentials when it comes to the live TV part. What's nice about it is that, and I covered this on my YouTube and on Rumble, where it has a network storage to where you're able to mount it. And there's the IP and there's a folder that I want mounted to this device. And you can add that stuff. You can add it right here. And as long as you have storage that's on your network, you just use the example on the left. You just get the IP address of what you're trying to use. You put it in the network path, and this device will get it. Everyone has like a different setup and configuration when it comes to that. Me personally, I'm using a Synology 2-bay NAS. And when I access it, I just have it bookmarked on my Chrome browser, and they have like some support threads or help forums. Like there's something like Find My IP for Synology, and they have a system set up to where it gets that information for you. But that's just one example. And you can use this for your recordings. And when you're done recording, it sends it straight to your network attached storage of choice, or your folder, that is. And it's real neat. And I showed the setup on YouTube generally, and then I showed the application on Rumble. What's the name of the keyboard? Yeah, I love the keyboard full size. Let me get that for you. I can post it in the chat. I don't mind doing that. Let me see. So I'm going to post a keyboard. I'm thinking of getting another one as I grow on more devices. But technically, I could get another one. It's affordable too. I'm going to post it in the chat. So there's the link. If you click on that, it's going to take you right to the Amazon page. And it's called Arctech, the HB192 Universal Bluetooth Keyboard. And it just comes with rechargeable battery and 3 devices with a single click. And it's supposed to last quite a while as well. Yeah, it's pretty cool though. Hey, what's up, Ultimate Streams TV? How are you doing? Just decided to go live, man. It's my off day. Haven't used this restream in like a couple or a few months. And no problem, Ian. No problem. But yeah, so let me get to, I have so much keyboards, it's crazy. I feel you on that. And I am up to date if I go to the software update. And that's the one thing about Formula, is that they're consistent and you can read what they fixed on this particular device. And they're constantly updating things. So I'll definitely be supporting them. But yeah, but really here it's pretty much the standard if you're familiar with Android TV, things like that. I know on an older model they had like DLNA or Samba. And I only can speak for like in front of me, like the Z Mini and the Z11 Pro Max, but I believe the Z8 had that DLNA and Samba feature. So they appear to have taken that away because maybe they felt like majority of their clientele wasn't using their devices like that. But since it is geared towards live TV, they do give you the ability to record to a storage. That could be an external SSD, a regular hard drive, or to your NAS. So there are going to be benefits into getting the Z Mini and the other devices that were released later as well. This comes down to personal preference at the end of the day. And if push comes to shove, if you are limited on money, there is a way for you to turn this into a media server. And to be quite honest, the channel that's been doing that a lot lately has been Philly Cable Dave. And shout out to him. He has been consistent in showing that, where he's using Kodi and he's doing MB Media Server. And that's his get down. You know, that's one of his hustles at the end of the day. Let me go to comments. Yeah, the Z8 and CC have the DLNA. Yes. Oh, no problem. I have the Z11 Pro Max. Very nice. Yeah, that was after I had got back. That was actually delivered to me on Mother's Day because I had placed the order on a Thursday, so it was supposed to come Saturday, and it was supposed to be delivered by Amazon, and them cats took an extra day. But I already had the Z Mini on deck, so it wasn't like I was missing out on much. But I plugged that Z11 Pro Max into my network, and then it's definitely more smoother right off the back. Like you don't even need to go into developer options. Like on here, if you want to make this device smoother, I already have it enabled, but you will hit on like this build several times. I'm already a developer, and in the past, I would just go down here and change the Windows animation scale from 1x to 0.5x. I did that for this device. This is running 2 gigs of RAM, and this is a lower spec device. But it doesn't perform like a low spec device, if that makes sense. Formula did their research on this. And this is fine. You know, if you're limited, you can still have the benefits of My TV Online 3, and you can still stream. You're doing Wi-Fi, you just gotta make sure your network is solid. Just solid. And that's honestly what it comes down to. And I want to show this off, but I can't. I have to show this on Rumble exclusively. It's a beast, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, it really didn't take me long to set this up because I purchased this as a streaming device, primarily because that what Formula advertised. They took out DLNA and Samba, right? Not to say you can't get those type of situations on this device, but you have to do additional things. And the average person that's looking into this is DIY, but this is going to be more on a budget. They want a premium experience, but guess what? They have to find their own service providers as well. Formula know their customers. They assume everyone that gets this know how to get their own. Just the tools that they give you, the main tool is My TV Online 3. That's the main tool here. I may get me a mesh kit, thinking on get me one for my Asus router. All right, that's what's up, Skulls. Welcome to the stream. How you doing this evening? So we go into Ada 64, And we're going to get into the other things as well, like my Zadu, what happened or whatever. I'm just going to show this off because I can't really show much on YouTube, So, but yeah, I use this device. I mean, this application, and it's just Ada64 is just a nice way to just see, okay, what's on here. Screen resolution 4K, Android, and some of this stuff is like popular, especially like the codecs, like what it supports. So it supports the FLAC, and we can see together what codecs does it support. Now I have this plugged into my capture card. Now on the actual real-time performance, if you were to plug this into a soundbar or to an AVR, your experiences may be slightly different. But this is reporting what it actually have: HVC, and stuff like that. XVND. Essentially, when it comes to your local media files, I wouldn't suggest a device like this or the Pro or the Z11 Pro Max for your 4K Blu-ray rips. I wouldn't even suggest it for your 1080p Blu-ray rips. This is not the device for that if you want the full video and audio experience. This device is mainly for you to view your service, and then you can switch out MB with Plex and Jellyfin. Some people like to use Streamio, where that's giving you like an experience to where you click, you set it up. I believe that's through the Brit as well. Some people switch it out with Wade. This is what people are doing these days. But if you do prefer having some things for Samba, or if you want to connect storage to this, you can. It's just that out of the box, the out of the box experience isn't catered to that. Mainly, you go into this market, you go into the Play Store, finds what's compatible. If that doesn't work, if you are a veteran, there are ways to get things sideloaded onto this device. Have I sideloaded anything on here? Me personally, no. I'm very specific in what I use. I do not load up devices or boxes with a ton of applications. That's not my workflow. The only reason why I have Ada64 on here was to check it out for myself and to tell y'all about it. I really don't need that. I don't need 2 internet speed tests on here. I don't. I mean, I don't. Honestly, these 2 are my golden ticket, and that's it. And then some YouTube, if I want to watch some people on the big screen. That's it. I mean, it's an easy device. I mean, it depends on, do you just want to grab stuff out of the market or the Play Store, or do you want to do some more tinkering? I have dedicated devices for specific things. So the more time goes on, so I'm getting older now, got different business and stuff going on, the less I want to tinker, the more I just want to get to my content and stream. Because when you are a cord cutter, the whole point is to watch your content. If you want a home lab, then a home lab is where you're going to be working on various things. You're testing things, you're experimenting with things. But each device doesn't have to be a home lab situation. It don't, sometimes it don't require it to be a home lab. You just want to throw on an app and just call it a day. And I get it. Let's see what Scott's is saying. So if you download from Chrome, you can send it to your NAS like Pathwise. Well, I haven't tested that, Skulls. I haven't even put any browsers on here, to be exact. I just know that the network storage and the My TV Online 3 goes hand in hand because they built this device in mind. In case you want to record, you can't only do it for a flash drive or an external storage. You can send it over your network. So if that's something that you're interested in, I can look into it. However, that's interesting though. Let's see. I like my Buzz stick. Haven't tried Buzz, so I'm looking to try out whatever mid-range option that they have, or I may just pick the option where it's just that Linux box and you can hook up your servers to it. Because that Buzz that's like for 300 plus something dollars, that's more in the mini PC range in terms of what it's looking to do. And I just don't see somebody just getting that just to watch live TV. Like, you gotta be getting that for something else. And that doesn't seem like that would be a good option for resellers also because of the price. I mean, why? I guess if you got higher end clientele like that, but what I'm getting at from it is that from a reseller perspective, how is that all going to play out? We don't know until it comes out, honestly. But from an individual perspective, you better be getting that to do some other things, because you can watch IPTV on a device like this, and this is like a little bit over $100. So that's all I'm saying with it. Hope I see streaming y'all on more TV setups besides LG and Samsung. Hey, yeah, it's getting some popularity. Hopefully it doesn't. Now, hopefully people are not using it as a crutch, because we know things have like gotten too hot, and people have to get out of the kitchen. I mean, we've seen that, but I've seen some things on Reddit and on YouTube, and people seem to like it because not everyone wants to have local storage, or they want to invest into a cloud. Some people want to get something like a Wade or a Streamio or a third-party APK or Kodi and stream their content that way. Is it the best? It depends on the source. There's people with these mid-range to higher-end audio setups, and if these files that are coming up through the bridge services, if they have the Dolby Vision 4K True HD 7.1, that's going to be the same quality that you're going to get on the physical disc. So as long as you can stream that, you're successful. Honestly, it's multiple ways to go about it. Let me see. I won't touch it. People are over killing Linux more than what it is. My friend going to a different OS all the time. All right. With driver trouble. I can see it coming to Xbox and PlayStation. Yeah, probably. All right. So if there's not any more questions for the Formula Z Mini, because it's limited in terms of what I can show on YouTube. Honestly, if we was all like in a Hangouts or something, I'll just show y'all my TV on line 3. Got 3 services hooked up to this bad boy, and it is smooth, especially on that Z11 Pro Max. That's a bad that's a bad boy. Dang, I've been missing out. I mean, I've always knew how to do the DIY method, but man. Okay, so we can switch to the Zadu. I'm not seeing any questions or any additional comments. And I'm going to be going into my Local+Cloud setup. It's more of a hybrid. This is something that I've done in the past, of course, tested it out. But moving forward is going to be more sought after. And the goal is to save money. Not just having like a bunch of just hard drives just laying around. And I want my local media players to have more purpose in the content that I put on there. And the stuff that's not so much important, stream it from the cloud. And that's just what it is, because that seems to be the best route for me. My demo content, stuff that I really want to show off, once I put together and finalize all my audio equipment, and I say, hey, like, this is an example of why I invested into this setup and this device. The Doom and the Sadu and the Shield can be an example of that. But I believe that the Shield is retired from me when it comes from a streaming perspective. I might just keep that for server use only. They haven't released no new model. And what I have now is very sufficient. So I'm going to go over. Y'all see that switch? A brother got his setup together. That switch was smooth, wasn't it? All right. So this is the Sadu Z9X Pro. Okay. So I got this last year. Y'all know I've done videos on this device. Done like a review process to an extent. And honestly, I deleted some apps. I had TV Mate on here. I had IM Player. I deleted those. I'll show you what's on here. I got Analytics, Testing Speed, and everything else. I did put Aptoid on here. And then I did do IDA 64. It does come with a built-in APK installer to where it can be through USB, or you can do it through the web, where if I enter that address on my home network, then I can sideload some applications. I don't need to do any other application. They give me USB or through the web. And as long as you have access to a browser, you are golden. That's what I like about this device. This is going to be more of just a local media player only. I'm not trying to have it be like an all-in-one device. Although it does have the capability to function as an all-in-one device, I'm just not going to do it. Because I have other devices now that cater to specific needs. And they give you the music player. Search my channel and look for the first impressions. I do like a rundown of the device as soon as I got it. And overall, it's nice. It needs some improvement, and I'm going to go into that when it comes to my review. But I'm going to go into that now. So this is my home theater. I customized this. I only have Unmatched and movies. Notice how you don't see TV shows in here no more. MB, there's a reason for that. So this thing is still buggy. They still haven't fixed this. Before I went live and set up my capture card setup, I had my Sadu over at my 77-inch, entertainment stand. It was hardwired. It was plugged in. I did not restart my network attached storage whatsoever. Well, apparently Sadu has a thing to where when you unplug the device and when you plug it back in, it can give you an invalid. Now it's stating that this device is temporarily unavailable. Do you want to delete this device? That's nonsense. I never had to deal with that on Doom whatsoever. That is complete nonsense. Now, it does have one of my libraries. Let's go to it. It has 91, but it's missing some stuff. So what I'm going to do here in this case is we're going to see how long this is going to take. That's crazy. There should be an option or an additional menu that says, hey, re-pick this up or try to re-identify this specifically, because it was already scanned in. You see 131 by 131. This is the only option. It's not even giving me an additional option but to remove the source or to leave it like that. Of course, when I add a source, I can get it rescanned. But the point is, that needs to be fixed. I done had this device for how long? Like, it's crazy. So this is media 2. This is media. Let me just do this. This is ridiculous. Okay, so I got my stuff there. All right, so it's going to ask for my credentials. So what I will do is this. It's going to play some music. Oh no, wait. I'm doing the virtual camera. It's just going to show my slide, but I'll be right back. I'm still here. All right. So hopefully that didn't take too long for y'all. And shout out to the ones that's still here. Appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all click the like button, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Because I do have this chat open to the public, but I think all of y'all in here are sub to me. So shout out to y'all. So this is what I have to rescan. Now I'm using Intelligent, and I'm afraid when I unplug this and put it back up to my 77, I'm going to have to do this process over again. So you know what? Let me just do this. Let me just. It's already saved in here. I'm just going to rescan it. I'm missing my content though. I want to show y'all something. Let me see something right quick. 91. And the reason why I'm showcasing this because I'm doing a review soon on this. No, actually, I will scan it while we're on stream because I want to show something specifically to where when issues occur, what you have to do. So I actually will do that. I'll just have to put in the overtime later. It's what it is. What it is. So I'm leaving it directly at default. Now, once again, shout out to Philly Cable Dave and Rich Little Poor Boy. I still remember you because you were the one that commented on my video and told me to try a different scraper, Intelligent. That's Zadoo's scraper. Now, you see, I did not change anything. Does this scans faster? Yes. Does it give more accurate matches? Yes. I think the movie scraper, phenomenal. TV needs some work. And it's going to scan. Now, as you can see, that's scanning some things, right? So I'm going to open up my MB and we can have a discussion with that while this load. It shouldn't be that long, but I just don't want to sit here And if y'all have any questions, make sure y'all put it down in the comment section. It might miss a movie or so. It might do that. All right. So let's do this. So what am I using for TV shows and just from some digital content that's released on Vudu, Apple Movies, Movies Anywhere. I'm using MB. So I'm going to show that here. Let me drag this over. Let me drag that over. Go back to the desktop. And boom. You guys should see my MB Cloud. So I have to finish Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. Got to wrap up BMF. Rewatching Death Note. I was binge watching this like crazy. Got up to episode 27. Kiki Tosin, old school anime there. Solo Leveling. Shout out to my homie Jamel. He put me on game on that show. And I've been slacking on the My Hero, the FBI stuff. Demon Slayer just started again. And I got to start you. So it's a lot of content out here. And I'm just enjoying this hybrid setup. And the reason why I'm presenting this to you, the reason why it's important is because you notice in previous videos, and you can go look for proof, I had TV show content stored locally through a NAS or through a drive, and I had it set up on my Dune and my Zedu. Not doing that no more. Dune is way better at scraping though, for just in general. But I'm not doing the TV shows locally. I just think it's a waste of time. I'd rather store demo content or stuff that's considered reference or go-to films, my favorites, and just things that I'm interested in just viewing. I'd rather just store that locally and then have that just be that. That way I'm not spending just recklessly on drives when I got options. And this has been solid for the past 3.5 years. And it hasn't failed. And yes, there is a backup to a backup to a backup in this situation. And then, I got dedicated devices for different things. So, got stuff already lined up here, ready to go. They put out that Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island. X-Men 97, that's popular. Where we at? Hour and a half. That's decent for a show like this. As soon as that's the do finish scanning, I'll present what I need to present there, and then I'll wrap up the show. I'll put the link out towards the end to see if anyone's is willing to come on, see if you have any questions, or if you want to hang backstage for a bit, I'll show you that My TV Online 3. That thing is official. But ultimately, with this type of setup, it just makes more sense because I can focus on what I need to focus on purchasing hard drive wise, and it's not going to be a ton versus having everything locally like music, TV shows, and movies. It comes down to your personal preference and how comfortable you are managing all that. But I just rather have a situation to where I stream what I don't want locally, and I keep locally what I'm actually need that quality, visual wise and audio wise. It just makes a lot more sense. And there's some reference TV shows like there's Game of Thrones that's on 4K disc, and that looks phenomenal, I would imagine. And, you know, there's some spare things TV show wise, but if you look at this row, and this is upcoming on Blu-ray, but if you look at this row, all of this is lower bitrate content that's more compressed for streaming from multiple providers. And this doesn't require a Zedu or a Doom type of player to run successfully. I can run this in the cloud and just do both. That's the whole point. Now, for those of y'all that's watching, do any of y'all do a hybrid setup? What is some of your, setup methods? For me, this is what I'm going to be doing. Just heading forward, going to keep the cloud going, but I'm going to make sure I purchase the drives that make sense locally. And for me, I'm liking it so far. I wind up cleaning up my recycle bin. I deleted all my TV shows locally, and I got like 2 terabytes free. So that's more space for my movies. And it was some 4K releases and re-releases that came out that I had missed because it was initially full, and I was going to get. Well, I wasn't going to get another Synology, but I was going to do something. Let's just say that. But I'm glad that I waited. All right, so let's check the status on the Zedu. Let's see what that's doing. All right. It's almost there. Okay. Do this. Almost done. So that was like perfect timing. All right. After that, I usually do an unmatched, but I think I did that yesterday. So what everybody likes about the Home Theater 4.0 is that it gives you these large posters. The visual fidelity, the detail on them, they're very nice. And it breaks everything in categories for you, and it puts it in the forefront. Applications like Plex, NB, or Jellyfin, even Kodi, they do a similar thing, but usually Plex doesn't automatically have it in the forefront. Plex does have genres, ladies and gentlemen. That's one thing that they supported for a while. It's just that when you're viewing it on like a TV type of interface or app, it's not in the forefront unless you make the individual library. But you don't have to build it out. Zedu just makes it extremely easy, along with Arvolution or Doom. That they just put it right in your face. I believe if Plex added and they probably have this, I have to experiment with it. If Plex has it to where you can pin the genres based off of the scan that you just did of your library, then it can look similar to this. It probably won't have these thumbnails like it, but if they allow you to pin genres, then you can have that on your side. If you're familiar with Plex, you know that that stuff is usually on the left-hand side. If you can pin your genres and you can have it be right in the front or on the side, then it's the same thing. Because your library is your library at the end of the day. So go into movies. Now that's what I'm supposed to have. Now, y'all see it took a bit to get here because Zedu got some issues that they have to work out, if I'm being honest. Now, when I do the review video, I'm going to be talking about these things. You're getting a preview of it while we're live on this show. Presentation, though, once you get to the content, stellar. Haven't seen a media player device that presents itself likes to do. I haven't. I know about Arvolution, but I haven't had it in my hands to where I can do a side by side comparison of it. So I like it because I can actually see what's in my library. Um, 217 films. That's good to know. And then it gives you the background as you hover on movies. It gives you things that you could see why people lean towards it. All right. So I'm going to go towards an ISO because I got a comment in the past about people not being able to play that they're ISO fans for some reason. I only had one that didn't work. A big shout out to Sobra. Welcome to the stream. Kaleidoscape may be the closest to the Zadu visual wise, but different concepts. Yes, I'm glad you said that. So let me go show off something. One thing about it, Sobra, you always have you have comments that fits what I'm going to show. Let me just go here. Is that it? Let me see something. That could be a view you can use, but let me see something. Here we go. I think this is it. So you see where I stuck it on Ant-Man and it automatically pulled up what codex it have, the ratings, the length of the movie. That's what Sobra is talking about. I think that's what he's leaning towards. But this is only going on one specific aspect of the player. But that's the thing that I noticed when he wrote that comment just now on the stream. I wanted to show that off because it blended into not paying the Kaleidoscape price, but getting audio and video wise, getting like 95% of the way there. Granted, you have the equipment. But this is a nice media player, and in my review, I'm going to be highlighting the pros and cons when it comes to this device. Because when you just sit on there, and imagine if they do an update where it plays the score of the film. When I'm on the PlayStation 5 and when there are certain marquee games, if I hover over it, it plays the soundtrack. That's something that the Sapiti did, and we know what happened to them. They look, and I don't know how Zadu would pull that off unless they do some sort of cloud synchronization. I don't know, but it'd be cool. What people like about this is that the posters load quick. There's no cloud aspect to it. There's no synchronization going on. So when people get a device like this coming from the Sapiti, performance wise, based off what I read, it's like a night and day difference because they're not dealing with logging in, dealing with the slowness and things like that. I'm only going by what I read online. Of course, there's people that's probably in the chat that's probably had a Sapiti, and you can be more in depth if you own that. I can only give what I read, but let me go into my example. So, for my review, I'm going to be testing this out, and I think this or Doom combined with the Formula Z11 Pro Max, that's a crazy setup. Crazy setup. Now let's do Luca. No. Let me not do that. Let me not do that. Let me not do that. I do want to pick this anime though. Which one? Which one did I have that ISO on? Was it the Wheel of Fire? There we go. So you see here, it says Blu-ray disc. So if you want to play with the menus, you will have to select BD, usually from this menu. It says ISO. And this particular film was released in 2009. So there really wasn't a 4K standard out in terms of like physical media. You can see here, it gives you the H.264. This device will play it. The format is critical. So I'm going to, I have things muted, so I'm going to play that. So people are talking about their ISOs are not playing correctly. I only experienced that with one film. That was a Dragon Ball Z movie. Okay. And I'm hoping with me having my audio on top and the audio being muted, that YouTube don't get pissy about this. That's the goal. Because I didn't feel the need to show this on Rumble. I showed this in the past. YouTube been cool. You know, they've been cool with me actually. I'm surprised. And as you can see here, it's like popping in a disc into a player. And it's all automated. So this just builds on what Kenyatta, if you go back to the beginning of the show, for those of you that's going to watch the replay, she asked about easy news and she thought it was as simple as just signing up and then going to the content. No, Usenet does have some technical know-how and chops to it, and you need different pieces to complete the puzzle. Now, once you have those pieces, this can be your end result. That's all I'm getting at. This can just be your end result, and this is with a Zadu, or you can have this be for a Doom or Arvolution or any media player of your choice. And then I have my scene selections here. There's my scenes. And I haven't seen this in a while as well, so I should probably watch this. Let me do cancel on that. All right. You can do setup. I can play with English, or for those of you that love that original dub, right? You can do Japanese 5.1. Oh, so bruh. Absolutely. I explained that when I was doing the Usenet part of this stream. I explained that. I explained a backup to a backup in a Usenet space and combine it with, for example, something like peer-to-peer. So I went through all of that, but I couldn't show it because of I'm telling you, this is a monster of a workflow, but you gotta do your research. That's the only thing about it. This crazy. I don't even. I heard that you can. See, here's the thing. Cody with the ISO playback has been iffy because I have to test some things. I have to test some things because they release different versions specifically for different things. I remember, I think they got the Adobe Vision thing situated now, but previously, and I forgot what number, they had a specific Adobe Vision Kodi that you had to download. Hopefully, that's not the case. Not that it matters to me. I don't have Adobe Vision no more, and I don't think it matters to a degree because you need to invest in your panel or your projector. I would be more concerned with that panel more than just seeing an HDR logo in the upper right hand corner or left hand corner or Adobe Vision. I think people get too caught up in that, and I was one of them. I was one of them until I saw them OLEDs, it's been game over, man. But this is an example. And the reason why I'm showing the Zedu and not the Doom, because I own both, is because I purchased the Zedu first, and that review will come out first. And trust me, that's going to do y'all. Trust me. It's some things that I test because I just can't test scraping things like Avengers. If it's a decent scraper, it should pick up that movie. What about this specific material? And I found where they can improve. That's the thing about it. And is it me intentionally testing it? Yeah, it is. Because I'm trying to see what it's about. Because this is one of the more talked about media players, right? It's very popular. But not everybody's situation is the same. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And when I get into it, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to be showing some clips, and I'm going to be going over everything that you want to see in that review. Everything. So let's try another one. Let me see. I saw a plane. On the Dune, though. No, I already did an animation example. Let me do a live action. But what I'm going to be testing playback wise is going to be ISOs, because I've saw more ISOs on the Doom versus the Do. Now, I'm going to be testing it, and I'll be giving y'all just an honest perspective of it. I forgot. 47 Ronin. I saw this year. Nice movie, by the way. Let's start that, because so far YouTube been good to a brother, and we're not going to play anything. Now you can see in real time how long it takes for the ISO to load. It's not bad. Oh, wait a minute. Can they? Hey, hold up. hey, I just don't want. Hey, listen. I don't know if they can get me for that. All right, now I forgot. Some of them include that animation. Let me hold up. Let me check something. All right, boy. English, so I can choose the options. And as y'all can see, I mean, what y'all think? I mean, y'all tell me. Are people now? I notice these icons here. This wouldn't be on an actual disk menu. There's a reason for that, and I'm going to touch on that. But this gives you 99.9% there. This open book, that's your scene selection. You just click on it. See? So it's giving you your experience. It's not one-to-one, though. It's not a true one-to-one, if I had to say so. But it gets you 99.9% there, and I don't really think people care. But this is just highlighting something that some of you may not be aware of. That's all. That's all my reviews are, honestly. I do my own thing. Nothing better than experience hands-on. Yep, I agree. Great content. Appreciate it, Ian. So let's back out. I don't want to accidentally touch something. So this is going to be my experience going forward, where it's going to be local and it's going to be hybrid. Everything else would be on. Let me drag this over. Let me drag this over as well. So there's my to-do. Okay. And only films that I care for, that I want to demo, that I need that bit rate for, that's what this device example would be for. Everything else would be on the cloud. That way I save money, and I think it's a way that you can save money as well. But you may want to switch devices, and you may want to switch scenarios. Instead of NB, you may want to do Kodi. Instead of Kodi, you may want to do Jellyfin, or you may want to do Plex, or you may want to do Doom. I don't know. I'm just showing you what's going to save me money. And I'm going to show you real soon, locally, how it's going to, something's going to change. Something's going to be changing. But yeah, but this is a beast. Yeah, I got a ton of stuff to finish and continue to watch. And it's a lot of content out here. It's a lot of content out here, man. So I'm just happy that I got it all up and running to my preferences. That's all. So in 5 minutes, no, I'll do this. I want to see if anybody want to come on. And if not, in 5 minutes, I'm going to end the show. And between there, if anyone have any comments or questions, we can address that as well. So let me go to invite guests. I can have up to 10 people. So if you missed the Formula part of this, I can show you my TV online in the background. That's that's set up. That Z11 Pro Max I got, that's bonkers. Hey, look, hey, listen, I didn't miss out on the Z Mini, but I did sleep on that Z11 Pro Max. Now, I admit that, but I'm not sleep no more. Hey, look, I ain't sleep no more. I'll tell you that. Still uses a book with DVDs. Don't judge me. Hey, look. I know you so, bro. You probably got 100 something terabytes, all type of devices, all type of methods too. So there, even though there may be a little hint of truth to that, I know you. I know you doing some stuff. Judging by your comments, though. Yeah. So, and when I'm showing this stuff, I haven't seen all of this. No, I just don't have time to. So, I've been enjoying my off day today. It was relaxing and, getting prepared for this type of stream. I'm off again on Sunday. Now, since I'm paying for Restream, I do want to make a habit into coming on consistently because I do want to balance between the videos and the shows, but I also want to put out some gaming content as well. And sometimes after work, I have to pick and choose what because it's limited and I'd be tired. So it's time management, but it's a balance at the end of the day. So I appreciate for those who do come and support. And yeah, it's a lot of stuff in here that I haven't even seen. So I wouldn't store now just in the anime section cloud wise. There's over 3,000 titles. I wouldn't store this locally. No, those days of attempting to do that are over. The TV scraper in the in Zadoo. Dune is actually a lot consistent. The TV scraper and Zadoo need some work. And in my review, I will be showcasing that. I'll have to I'll just have to get some examples. I'll have to gather some examples because I did delete my library locally because that was for my movies now. Or I might just show just an older clip that I did live stream wise or video wise, and I'll put that in review. Just so you can just see visual wise that, yeah, I had to do some cleanup. And I believe I showed that on my last stream on here. So, but yeah, it's going to get into the good and the bad. And that's it. and I'm going to move on to the official Doom review. And then it's some other media players that's out there, gaming wise. I own OLED panels. I'm looking at that Steam Deck OLED. I'm looking at it, and the only reason why, because my largest library is on Steam. I don't care about Ubisoft or the Epic Game Store or Origin, or now known as EA Play. Do I have libraries in there? Absolutely, but nowhere close to what I have in Steam. I have like 500 plus games on Steam. Steam Deck primarily runs Run operating system, Steam Deck OS. It just makes sense to me as a first purchase for a PC gaming handheld, and me being an OLED owner. Then I'm going to present the other options. So it's some stuff that's coming up. Be on the lookout on the fall. The summer things might slow down a bit. It's summertime. Absolutely. That's another device I'm eyeing. Legion Go, in my opinion, is better. Yeah, and I can definitely see why you say that. Options. Let me stop scrolling here. It'd be days. I got some kid stuff. Over 1,000 items. So yeah, so watching TV shows on my MB in the cloud and keep what's only important locally. That's going to be the money saver. Now, do I have multiple devices to pull that off? Yes, I do. I have MB on my Formula Z Mini, but I've been watching it quite a bit on that Z11 Pro Max. And it's stable and it's solid. It plays HDR10 plus. Matter of fact, let me show that. Let me show the that might be the thing for Sunday. Let me go ahead and show that. Switch that over like that. So I covered the Z Mini. So earlier in this live stream, I covered the Z Mini already, which is this right here. But I went ahead and had to get this monster. Oh, beast. Lower than my services. And ladies and gentlemen, this is quality. And Z Mini as well. And I had to test the HDR. It auto switches. Got more RAM, more storage. And I was liking what I was seeing. I like that Bluetooth. This is like the best remote I've seen from a device that I've owned personally. So for Baton can learn some stuff, because I'm looking at. I haven't even used the Sofa Baton remote when I'm using the Formula, because it don't make sense to. Honestly, it don't. I mean, but like, that's just my opinion. And sometimes it can have some issues learning from the original remote. I have to email them about that, because that's something that the X1S did not improve on. But I haven't tested Formula specifically as well. So I'm going to wait until I send that email to them. But yeah, and look, for streaming live TV and just doing some casual VOD streaming, I think this is it. I'm going to look into the Buzz as well, of course. And then after that, we're going to start getting into some gaming media players, where I'm going to be showing you different options to game. That's more affordable, because everybody don't have. I did want to show this because not everybody have the technology, or they may have the budget for a high end setup. Let me show this though. Even though I will do a separate video on this, Let me back out. Let me go back to my capture card. Switch back to the mini. Okay. And let me go here. I did want to highlight one feature that was cool. And I'm going to settings, device preferences. And what's up, D Johnson? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Appreciate you. What time is it? Well, depending on where y'all at, good evening. Let me see. All right. Let me go to display and sound. This has something called AISR, where it improves the video quality through AI-powered resolution upscaling. So if you own like the NVIDIA Shield 2019 Pro, because I don't have that tube one, this has AI upscaling, excuse me, AI upscaling as well, but at a lower price. Listen, some of you may not have that, let's say mid-range to high-end mini LED from Sony or OLED or QD OLED because they regard Sony as the best image processor in TVs. Some of you may not have that type of money or budget. You get a device like this, and listen, let's say you spend on a TV $700 to $1,200 for a budget, right? Let's say you call a deal, right? I did see the difference when I was using the Z Mini versus the Z11 Pro Max. It's not night and day because my Samsung S90C has a good enough processor in it. It's not the best. I admit it's not the best, but you will see a bump. And that's the difference. Now, on a lower end television, maybe the difference would be more dramatic. The point is that I'm getting, and I want to be doing my own video on this. This is nice. That's a nice implementation to this device. Welcome back, Biggs. All right. And the match content frame rate, that's cool. And yeah. So what I'm going to be doing here is that we're over 2 hours, and I appreciate everyone that came through to support and the people that's going to be watching a replay. For anyone that want to hang behind the scenes, if you're interested in my TV Online 3, some of you that have this device or familiar with the brand, you probably know about it. But for those that don't or are curious, I can show that off. I do have my network attached doors mounted at the moment. And it plays smooth. All right, so any last minute comments or questions? Because I'm about to wrap this show up. Man, I haven't went live like this in a bit. But I'm going to get back into, just a mood to come on like this. I want to live stream some more games as well, just to balance some things out. The only thing that's going to be like a pain in this is unplugging some stuff and putting it back on my TV space, but it's whatever. I won't be doing this every day. That's too much. No. All that unplugging and all that stuff gets on you after a bit. Great show, Pen, and great details. Appreciate Ian. Thanks, Bud. Let's see. Sobra only has a first gen Fire Stick and immersion floor model TV with pliers to change the channel. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Hey, look, y'all can believe that if y'all want to. All right, so I'm about to end it here. So this can be up to 10 guests, and I'll have it open for like 5 minutes or so. If nobody comes, I'll just do my thing. I got content on the way, and when I go live is random. I don't have a set schedule because my schedule at work isn't set. To be honest, I'm looking to transition out of my role into a better role, and I'm going to start the studying soon. I want to wrap up my second playthrough of Stellar Blade, and then I'm going to start looking into some certain career paths for myself, and get me more consistent schedule, and come on here and share my experiences. This is still considered information technology. I'm just presenting a different side of it. That not everything has to be about making money or join or going up the corporate ladder. This part of it is just entertainment, honestly. That's all it is. Some people have requested me to do videos on the more business side of it or getting a job or getting certs, but honestly, I haven't seen those people around. And I just want to do videos that people really want to see and are passionate about. But I'm passionate about both though, because I do it for a living. But yeah, certain things I had to gauge in terms of, okay, but it's all good though. Maybe they just want a specific thing, but we gonna keep bringing it, and I appreciate y'all for joining through. And until next time, peace out, and thank you for watching. And if you want to join behind the scenes, there's the link. If not, God bless. Peace out.